So, holy crap, we have the season, maybe even series finale of The Penguin, and this will be the final episode of Penguin Mondays here on my channel, where we talk about the Penguin every single week. It won't be the last time I talk about the Batman or an HBO show that airs on Sundays, but it is the final Penguin Monday. Let's all take a moment of silence. Very sad. But we have a finale to this show, which really just solidified the fact that The Penguin is maybe the greatest superhero TV show of all time. Now, that is a conversation we can have, and maybe I will make a ranking video this week and break down if there have been other ones that might be a little bit better. I don't know. But this is certainly one of the best TV shows of the year, and one of the best superhero TV shows I've ever seen. If you want to call it a superhero show, comic book show, there you go, that's a better way of talking about it. Because this finale absolutely kicked ass, and this show as a whole proved itself to be something special. Because we currently live in a world, we live in a society, where every single time these comic book companies, these major film companies, decide to make a movie or a TV show about a character that is historically bad, say the Joker, say Venom, say Black Adam, they make a show or a movie, Agatha, which just came out, about these characters that are bad guys, they have to make this bad guy actually the good guy. They are a misunderstood good guy. Arthur Fleck is not bad. He's not the Joker. He's this misunderstood loser. Venom, Eddie Brock, he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy that just kills bad dudes. Black Adam's a good guy. You know, he's been a bad guy all these other comic books, all these other times, but he actually is, you know, he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. And The Penguin ends up being one of the best shows on TV because this is not a show that tries to convince you that Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, is some morally well-suited dude. He's this good guy that is better than all of these other evil mobsters. No, this is a show that straight up tells you this guy's a piece of human trash. We are following and rooting for a piece of filth. This is a show that reminded me a lot of, and I hate to make this comparison because this show is just one of the all-time great shows, but in a sense like Breaking Bad, where slowly as you're watching Breaking Bad, you're realizing that Walter White, aka Heisenberg, is not a good dude, and you probably shouldn't be rooting for him. The Penguin is the same thing. You're watching the show expecting it to be very similar to a lot of these other superhero stuff that we get where they make the bad guy out to be actually the good guy. You're expecting it throughout the whole thing. Well, Oz, you know, there's some relatable vibes to him. He's got some moral codes to him that maybe the Falcones didn't have, and you're watching and you're trying to really root for him, and by this finale, you just completely realize, my God, he is the worst! And that made the show so brilliant that I'm going to get into a lot more stuff. I just want to put a spoiler warning for the rest of this video. I will be talking spoilers for the whole show, so if you don't want to hear anything from the finale, click off. If you want my base review, this is one of the best shows of the year. Go watch it, go check out the whole thing, and come back here. So this finale starts where we left off in the last episode. The Penguin has been captured by Sophia Gigante, or Sophia Falcone, whatever you want to call her, and she has Penguin's mother, and we get the big reveal very early in this episode. The big secret to Penguin and his mom's relationship is the fact that the Penguin, when he was a kid, murdered his two brothers. Yes, he actually killed his two brothers, and his mother found out. She knew about this, and she planned to have the Penguin killed. But in some form of grief, in some form of still loving her only child, and the fact that this man, her boy, her son, told her, "I'm gonna take care of you, Ma, I'm gonna take care of you," she let him live, but was living in this weird state of hatred for her own son for all of these years that she had to hide away. And in finding out that the Penguin actually killed his brothers, you realize this guy is psychotic! I mean, you know it. You see him kill a bunch of people throughout the season. You see him doing all these horrible things, but you always look at it like Tony Soprano, right? Tony Soprano's this guy, he kills people, he's kind of a psychopath, but he's a family man. There are aspects to him that you could respect, and there were always those aspects with the Penguin that you could respect in this show. He loved his mother, he loves Vic. All of these things about him that you're like, I could actually latch on to those as being these relatable traits. Those traits are ripped apart in this episode. First, with his mother, as you see the fact that he did take away his brothers from her, and then even there's a scene where they're hurting her, they're torturing her, and they say, Penguin, all you gotta do is admit what you did to your brothers, and we will stop hurting her, and he can't do it. He can't admit the truth. He would have let them hurt her. He probably would have let them kill her. It's a beautiful scene to show you that, yes, not only is this guy a villain, but he is a bad guy, and he is a Batman bad guy, which means he's got some serial killer tendencies. He's a psycho! But we watch the Penguin escape. There's a little bit plot armory stuff here, which I don't particularly love, but he does escape, and he gets his mother out, brings her to the hospital, and he starts this final battle with Sophia Falcone, which of course he eventually wins. We watch Penguin sort of solidify his power in Gotham, getting sort of into City Hall, and in with some of the politicians, they're getting that same kind of grip on power that the Falcones had, where they control all these different officials, which makes them pretty much invincible. He frames Sophia Falcone for a lot of the stuff that happened this season, sends her back to prison in an amazing, amazing, amazing scene between the two characters. Sophia, what a character, one of the best characters on TV, what a performance. Penguin goes back to the hospital, and he realizes that his mom is now a vegetable, and she will never be coming back, so he will never get that satisfaction of having her tell him that he is proud of her, of having her tell him that she does actually love him. There is a phenomenal scene that, in my opinion, won Colin Farrell the Emmy right, like, on this one scene alone where he's breaking down with his mom. It is some brilliant, brilliant acting that just proved how good Colin Farrell is in this role, and proved me wrong for comparing him too much to James Gandolfini and Tony Soprano. He makes his own thing here, and it is brilliant, the one scene that he has at the near the end of this episode. But in that scene, you continue to have this vibe of, oh, they're trying to humanize him, they're trying to make you feel like, oh, he actually is the good guy. Maybe he didn't kill his brothers, maybe he is a decent guy that's just misunderstood. And the one sort of tethering thing you have left to him is Victor, this kid that he recruited early in the season. He's brought him under his wing, he's been his right-hand man. It's this kid who's got the stutter, and he lost his family, but this kid has become someone under the Penguin's tutelage, and they've become friends. They've even become family. They've taken care of each other, and the Penguin is out with Victor. Victor, who's been there for him the entire season, who genuinely loves him, almost like a father figure at this point. And they're sitting there on this park bench, and they're watching the water, and you could just tell the vibe of this scene. You could almost tell what was coming, and you didn't know why. You're searching. As these two characters are talking, you know what's about to happen. You felt it, but you're looking for the logical reason. It's like, no, he wouldn't do it, because why would he do it? It doesn't really make any sense. Why would he do it? But he's gonna do it, because you can just feel it. And then, yeah, it happens. Penguin kills Victor. He just chokes him to death. What? Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. He just makes this idea up of like, oh, you've become, you're a very nice guy, Vic. You're really great, but you're kind of a loose end because you're such a nice guy that I just can't really trust you to do terrible things. Like, his reasoning is bullshit. His reasoning for killing Victor is because he's a psychopath. He's a lunatic. He's a terrible, terrible dude. He is a Batman villain. And it's the last message to the audience. It's the last message, the last moment of the audience where they look you in the eye and they say, if you rooted for this guy, good on you. You're kind of stupid. We're all stupid because we were all rooting for him. But if you rooted for this guy, just know you were rooting for the bad guy. This is the Penguin. He's a villain. You should have known. You should have picked up a comic book. Did you not see Danny DeVito back in the 80s? Because Victor is the one last thing tethering him to being this morally justifiable guy, this guy that you could somewhat clamor onto as the hero of this story. And the moment he kills him with really no reason to do it, just to kill him, right? He just does it, and then you see the sort of that real low-life, douchebag, evil quality come out of him, where he takes his wallet out, and he takes the money, and he tosses the ID in the water. This guy is the devil, which is kind of the point, and this is, and I hate to say it, the greatest villain origin story in the history of storytelling. Now we have a real bad guy that could be hated in this universe. This is a bad guy that when the Batman Part 2 comes out and the Batman is going up against him, the audience is going to hate the Penguin, a character we spent 8 episodes with that we now know is deservedly labeled a terrible, terrible human being with no redeemable qualities, who is a bad guy for bad guy purposes. They finally, and I've been saying this for years, not every villain character, not every bad guy needs to have this unseen light side to them, where they actually are justified in some of the stuff they're doing. They actually are sort of morally okay on the inside. They just make bad decisions because they think the ends justify the means. It's been a weird thing in Hollywood where every villain needs to be that way. We can't just have bad guys, which is obviously not how the real world works. Across history, we've had some terrible, terrible human beings that are just psychotic and bad. How do you explain serial killers? I mean, come on. And finally, we have a villain here that reflects it, and it's really Batman villains in general that get to reflect those qualities. Of course, in The Dark Knight, the Joker. The Joker is one of these characters that is literally just chaos. That is what the Joker is. The Riddler, although he did have those qualities, they tried justifying when he was killing bad guys. Now, finally, though, in this universe, the Penguin is this douchebag, and it made this show in this final episode land on its feet in such a powerful way. We also had some ending scenes. You see Sophia Falcone getting a letter from Catwoman herself, Selena Kyle, who is her half-sister. I believe we're probably going to be seeing, if I had to guess, a Catwoman standalone show. After the success of this, I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of these shows with a lot of different characters, but Sophia Falcone is now locked in Arkham. There is that rumored Arkham TV show, which would be awesome because there's so many great characters there now, including Paul Dano's the Riddler and, of course, Barry Keoghan's Joker, and now Sophia Falcone, so maybe they're just going to collect all these people into Arkham and we will have a big Arkham show. I think that's going to happen. I think we'll get a Selena Kyle show. I'll make a whole video, though, probably tomorrow, talking about the shows that I want to see from this Matt Reeves universe now that the Penguin has concluded. You also get a great last scene where the Penguin is now, I guess, in his new sort of headquarters. I don't know if it's the Iceberg Lounge or where it is, but he's dancing with sort of that hooker that has been dressing up, or who's dressed up like his mom, but the hooker that he's been with throughout the whole show, and he's dancing with her, and the camera cuts out to outside the building, and finally, it took 8 episodes, but finally, boom, bat signal. You get the one reference to Batman, just to remind you, hey guys, Batman is out there. He's just been on leave or something. Who knows? I know, they just didn't want to pay Robert Pattinson. There you go. But what an episode, man. What an episode of television. What a season of television. This is a great 8 episodes. In 8 episodes that, honestly, I can almost make the argument are better than the Batman itself, than the movie The Batman. It does a better job of building out this universe and building out a character that is going to be a pillar in this universe. I am obsessed with the Matt Reeves Batman universe and the amount of possibilities going forward, not just in The Batman Part 2, the film that will be focused on him, but sort of expanding on a lot of these other characters in this world. I am so excited to see what they do. I hope this isn't just going to be a contained trilogy of movies with like a couple shows here and there. I hope this is a fully fledged Batman universe that stays away from the James Gunn stuff and gets to do its own thing for years and years and years, because there are so many possibilities of telling incredible stories here with really, really incredible and special characters going forward. I hope to God they have the runway to do it, because the Penguin is proof that Batman characters are the best characters in comic books, and if you do them right, if you do them faithfully, and if you understand the fact that bad guys can and should be bad guys, my God, you can make something really, really special. This movie, this TV show takes the book that's called Save the Cat, where it tells you the character needs to be likable. They need to do something heroic for you to latch onto them. Throw that in the trash. You can have a guy who is plain evil and have the audience latch onto them for 8 episodes and hate their guts and still think, wow, what a goddamn show, man. What a show. Penguin, one of the best shows of the year. I will give The Penguin a 5 out of 5. Yeah, this thing is incredible. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of The Penguin down below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.